ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविता शाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे च जनकात्मजा पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। Hold on 1 second. All right. So we will continue with Bala Kanda. Maybe we can close the door a little more, not completely. I guess I have to mute everyone now. Okay, can you all hear me? I guess so. I muted all of you.
Yes, Prabhu.
All right. We'll continue with Bala Kanda, where we had left off in chapter 21. Vishvamitra wanted to take Lord Ramachandra with him for 10 nights, he said. And Dasharatha was unwilling. And so Vishvamitra, we discussed that famous verse where he said, Aham Vedmi Mahatmanaha. And we discussed what Aham Vedmi meant. A little bit on the word Mahatmanaha. And then we'll continue the pastime. So first, when Vishvamitra says Mahatmanaha, he says, Lord Ramachandra is the soul of all souls, or all the souls are within him anyway, because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just because he seems embodied as your boy in front of you, you should not think of him as ordinary. So that's one meaning of Mahatmanaha. Second, he tells him that Lord Ramachandra is Mahatmana because he has already resolved to kill all the Rakshasas, so including Subahu and Maricha, that you, Dasharatha, are feeling hesitant about. Even they are already resolved to be killed. Third one, you are afraid that your son might get hurt. He's very young. He has no experience in battle. But his body is actually made of Shuddha Sattva. So there is no flesh and blood the way you think that is. Then the fourth meaning of the word Mahatmana, is that if you know Lord Ramachandra's Swabhava, or the heart, he already knows the reason that I'm here, as part of his being omniscient. So he himself would come with me. Okay. And one of the first words we hear in Srimad Bhagavatam is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadyasya Itaratas Chartheshu Abhigya Swarat. Swarat means supremely independent. Although he's acting like your boy, not acting like a drama acting, although he's playing the role of your boy, seeking your permission to go, actually no one can stop him in his determination, his sankalpa. And then the fifth reason, he is not only Mahatma, he is also the Paramatma, the Satya Parakrama. So I know that it is he who, you're thinking this is a boy who doesn't know what to do. He brought back the Vedas from Madhu and Kaitava as Hayagriva. He as Varaha brought Bhumi Devi back from Hiranyaksha's Hiranyaksha's disturbances. He is the same Narasimhadev who came out of the pillar and killed Hiranyakashipu. He is the same Parashurama who followed the orders of Jamadagni. And he is also the same Trivikrama or Vamana who looked like a mere boy, but when he took 3 large steps, with one step, he covered the entire Bhu, Bhuvar and Swargalokas. So, don't hesitate. Don't think of him as a mere boy. So that is Mahatma. Still, Dasharath Maharaj was not too eager to send his son. So he told him, yeah, I'm so sorry. I cannot send my son with you. Not only I cannot send my son, I had thought I will also go, but when I hear Ravana's name, I'm not so sure. I don't want to go. And so Vishvamitra becomes angry and in sarcasm says, "O Kakutstha, you're coming in the lineage of King Kaku, and yet you have become weak and not fulfilling the promise that you have given. So be happy. Be happy with your family, sit at home, eat nicely, watch TV, and just do nothing." And he turns around. He says, "For me, it doesn't matter. I'm going to turn around and walk away anyway. Infamy will come to you." At that time, so today's where we are starting is chapter 21, verse number 6. There, Vasishtha, who's watching all this, he knows, one, Dasharatha should not behave this way. Second, he knows Vishwamitra's anger. And he also knows that Vishwamitra is being brought there by providence, by the Supreme Lord itself, so that he can go along and do what he is supposed to do. Most importantly, he has to meet Sita Devi. So Vasishtha comes and speaks to Dasharath Maharaj, and he says, "Ikshvakunam kule jatah sakshat dharma eva parah dhrutiman suvratah shriman dharma hatumarhasi." So he says, "Ikshvakunam kule jatah." Hey, Dasharatha, you are born in the family of Ikshvaku. This is a very, very great family. Every king in this family is par excellence, and they compete with each other in their glory. You're born in that. And sakshat dharma iva para, apara dharma, you have a duty. Okay, and that duty is to fulfill your promise. Dhrutiman, you're a famous guy. Please. Now, Dhrutiman, you have great glory that is backing. Your resume is fantastic. Your resume is fantastic. Suvrataha. Once you determine something, once you promise, you will always fulfill it. Suvrata. Shriman, oh great person. Because the moment you add Shri in front of someone's name, that means they've been blessed by Lakshmi Devi or Krishna's internal potency to bring glory. So he says, Shriman Dharma Hatum Arhasi. Dharma Hatum Na Arhasi. Sorry. Shriman na dharma hartum arase. Please don't violate the dharma of giving your word and now not following it. So throughout Ramayana, this theme becomes very, very, very prominent. That you give a word, you keep it. Don't give a word. Once you give a word, even if your life is at danger, you keep it. You keep your word. You keep your word. So then he says, Trishu lokeshu vikhyate dharmatma iva raghavah swadharmam pratipadyasva na dharmam vodumarhase. He says, Trishu lokeshu vikhyato. Okay. In all the three worlds, you are very famous as the great Dasharatha Maharaj. You're known as Dharmatma. Oh, Raghava. You're in the line of King Raghu. Is invoking in him all the things so he can overcome his this sense of this is my son, right? In Sanskrit it's called mamakara. Aham and mama are the two greatest things that hold a person into this world. They peg this person in the world. Of course, his mamakar is for Lord Ramachandra. But look at Dasharatha and compare in one sense to Vasudev. After so much austerity for Vasudev and Devaki, Krishna was born. After so much austerity for Dasharatha and Kausalya, Lord Ramachandra was born. But as soon as Krishna was born, he said, take me across the Yamuna and leave me in Yashoda's home. Vasudev put Krishna in a basket, put him on his head and walked that very night that he was born. After hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of penance, the Supreme Personality appears in his home or prison and tells him, take me across. And how difficult it is to say yes and how difficult it is to say no. But Vasudev did it. Here Dasarath is fighting because for 60,000 years I've not had the son and I have a son now. And Vasishta, Vishvamitra are all helping him. While there is a bond with as a father, like we discussed last time, internally that separation needs to be there for the love to grow. But externally, this attachment that this is my son and cannot do any seva for other people, that is not correct as a king. So Vishwamitra and Vasishta are telling him, oh, Trishu lokeshu vikhyata. Then he says, Swadharmam pratipadyasva. You must carry out your duty. Sage has come, you promised, and it is for helping the sages. What is a king who doesn't assist in the Brahmana's work? What kind of king is that? So you must do this. And he says, Na adharma vodum arhasi. Don't put on the garment of adharma. Not good for you. Let him go. Still Dasarath is not agreeable. So then he says, Pratishrutya karishyeti uktvam. Listen, you said, I will do. Okay. Vakyam kurvataha. You gave your word. Ishta purvadho bhuyatas. He says now, Ramam visarja. You said you will do, and now you are backing out. Not correct. You should let him go. So then, you're worried about your son, correct? Something will happen. These demons will hurt your two little boys. Don't worry. They're going with Vishvamitra. And he says, these boys will learn all about weaponry from Vishvamitra. Now, Vishvamitra knows Guptam, Kushika Putrena. All the secrets of weaponry he has learnt. And he keeps them very carefully in his heart. Just the way Jvalena Amritam Yatha. So after the churning of the milk ocean, the Amrita that came apparently is stored in the heavenly realms with a divine fire protecting it. So the demons cannot go and take it. So just that the fire protects the Amrita, Vishvamitra has protected these mantras of weapons that he will give your son. So the question is, what weapons knowledge does Vishvamitra have? Vishvamitra has the knowledge of 100 weapons. And these weapons he got from Lord Shiva. These weapons are the sons of Daksha's daughters. Daksha had many daughters. Some went to Kashyapa Muni, some went here, some went there. These two, their name was Jaya and Suprabha. Jaya and Suprabha were married to a Prajapati called Krishasva. And for Jaya, 50 invisible sons were born. Now, don't ask me to explain how invisible children are born. But 50 sons were born. They are the weapons. And they are invisible but invincible. Then their purpose that they were born was to kill the demons. Suprabha had 50 sons. And their names were eliminators. That was their name, eliminator. Meaning they finish off anyone that they come. Now we made a movie series that was very, very famous called Terminator. A Terminator, whatever happens, cannot die, gets up and comes back. But the only in the movie is that Terminator gets beat up really badly many times. But these 50 from Suprabha, nothing happens to them. They're invincible. Okay, they are these effulgent weapons. A little Sanskrit lesson, if you will. There is something called Shastra and there is something called Astra. And we use them interchangeably. But actually, this is how they work. Shastra is the actual weapon. The physical weapon, like an arrow or a thunderbolt or whatever, an arrow. That Shastra is empowered by an Astra. So if you take a bomb, it has all this body, but there is the detonator in it, one sense, if you think, that actually triggers the whole bomb. It's different from the bomb structure. So when Lord Ramachandra or anyone mounts an arrow and pulls their bow, that arrow is the Shastra. And then they invoke a particular Astra onto that one. Then they will invite Indra's weapon, so it's called Indrastra. They will invoke Lord Brahma, so it will become Brahmastra. They'll invoke Agni, so it will become Agneastra, like that. They invoke Lord Shiva's power and his valor, so it becomes Parshupatastra, like that. So that mantra brings empowerment to the weapon. So these 50 are all the empowered mantras, or 100 actually, the sons of Jaya and Suprabha. So Vasishtha tells, don't worry, send them. So finally, Dasharatha accepts. Okay, I'll let them go. Kausalya Devi comes. She blesses Lord Ramachandra, and these two boys then follow Vishvamitra right out of the palace. Now this is a very momentous occasion because they have been living in the luxury of palace. In fact, sometimes they never walked on the floor. They were always carried from one place to another because the soles of their feet are so tender that if they touch the marble floor, then the feet become red and bruised. So delicate. When we look at the deity of Krishna, you see his palms are nice and red. His feet are nice and red. That means they're very delicate. It seems that Krishna and Ramachandra are such that even when Radharani or Sita Devi look at them, by the look itself, they turn pink because they're so delicate. Sukumara. These two boys, for the first time, are leaving the palace. Of course, they've left the palace before also for hunting trips and all that, but on chariots, on horses and elephants. Now they're walking. young boys, 12-year-old, both of them. And they're following Vishvamitra. And it is said that when Valmiki says, when Vishvamitra is walking, it seemed like two three-headed serpents. Trishira Pannaga. Pannaga is snake. Trishira is three heads. Three-headed serpents were following Vishvamitra. So the Acharyas explain the reason they look like a three-headed serpent is Ramachandra. He has two quivers full of arrows. So the arrows, the point is down and the feather side is up. So one quiver full of arrows with the feathers on this side, one quiver full of arrows, feathers on this side, looks like hoods and his own head, and they're walking. And Lakshmana anyway is Anantasesha, so he's also walking. Now they walk, they're following their guru now, right? Because he's going to give them mantras. So when they're walking, they walk silently. No talking, chit-chatting, nothing. They're walking. So the shloka, the 20th shloka says, Ardhyayardha yojanam gatva. After walking 1.5 yojanas. That is 12 miles. Silent they walked. What do you think? 12 miles in the forest, outside, silent, no talking. So then the shloka says, Adhyayardhorjanam gatva sarakhya dakshine tate. Saraya dakshine tate. Along the southern bank of Sarayu river. Rama iti madhuram vanim Vishvamitro abhyabhashataha. They walked silently. After 1.5 yojanas, Vishvamitra turned and said, Rama. And the way he called the word Rama is, Valmiki is saying, Madhuram Vani. So he didn't say, Rama. Hey, Rama. Rama. So sweetly, of course, I cannot imitate it. But so sweetly he called Ramachandra. And as soon as he called Ramachandra, Ramachandra said, yes, sir, I'm right here. So the Acharyas comment that this is how, before giving any instruction, the spiritual master will test the disciple. So these two are princes. They never walked so much. He made them walk 1.5 yojanas, 12 miles. So literally all the way up to O'Hare Airport. A little more than O'Hare from here. Didn't speak a word. And he was noticing whether they will say, their knees are hurting, back is hurting, feet are, I've never walked so much. Vishvamitra Muni, can we get a taxi? Can we go to Uber? At least can we take a bus? Nothing, no complaining, just quietly walking behind him and alert, not like distracted, looking here and there. How long are we to walk? Because as soon as he said Rama, he said, yes, sir, I'm right here. So that is the test. That means both Ram, whenever here in the verse it says Ram, it means both of them. Because in this case, Rama and Lakshmana are not different. So as soon as he says Ram, yes. So he tells him, Gruhan Vatsa, oh my dear boy, Gruhan, take water, Salilam, Ma Bhut Kalasya Paryaya. Don't waste any time. Very quickly, take water from the Sarayu river and sip it. Mantragramam Gruhanam Tvam Balam Atibalam Tatha. Very quickly sip water. Why? The sun is about to set. And as soon as the sun is setting, one is to perform Gayatri. And as soon as the sun sets, you cannot give mantras. It's not proper time. So he noticed it's evening time. Very soon we're going to perform Gayatri, and then the sun will set. So he says, Ma Bhut Kalasya Paryaya. Don't spend any time. Don't waste. Quickly sip water, and I'm going to give you Bala Atibala mantras. These two mantras I'm going to give you. So then, important is for him to give these mantras, he has tested them already for 1.5 yojanas. Then he gives them this mantra, Bala and Atibala. I'm trying to look for where this Bala and Atibala. Okay, I don't have the specifics, but I'll tell you. Vishwamitra tells Rama Lakshmana that these two, one is called strength and Atibala means even more. These two mantras will help you throughout your life. Because one who knows Bala and Atibala, he says, one, you will never be hungry. You will never be thirsty. You will never get tired. You will never become pale or morose or sad. You'll always be effulgent, full of energy, full of enthusiasm. However long you go walking, not eating, it doesn't matter. Second, your body will become effulgent in all conditions. So effulgent that people will think a sun has risen. And no weapon can hurt you. No weapon can ever hurt you. And you will always, always come out victorious if you know these two mantras, Bala and Atibala. And he gives them these mantras. And as soon as they recite these mantras, they're already effulgent. They become even more effulgent. So it is, the meaning is that however qualified and dignified a person is, when one receives mantra from their guru, then the real or the full glory manifests for every living being. So that evening, they take rest along the banks of the Sarayu river. Now, Vishwamitra is a sage. He's used to living in the forest. So for him to lie down under a tree and go to sleep is not difficult. But these two boys have never slept in anything but beds that are made with the finest of silk and soft like the foam of milk. That's usually the poetic comparison. Whenever you look of soft bed, it's always given as as soft as the foam of milk. Now they have to lie down under trees on dry leaves. Now they have walked so much. Yet, when Vishwamitra lies down, Rama and Lakshmana massage Vishwamitra's feet. They wash his clothes. They bring him water. They make his bed with all the leaves. They massage his feet so that his tiresomeness can be relieved. Although he also knows Bala Ati Bala, right? But this is Guru Sushrushaya. One must serve one's spiritual master. Now, to relieve his tiresomeness, they are massaging his feet. And to relieve their tiresomeness, Vishwamitra tells them sweet stories, one after the other. As it narrates different stories, these boys very gently go to bed. Because they're princes, that is how they go to bed. So they fall asleep. Then, next morning is the most famous verse that is recited. In fact, in every temple in South India, this verse is first recited. This is the Mangalarti verse. Like we recite Vibhavari Sesha Aloka Pravesha Nidra Chhadi Utha Jiva. Right? That is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song. And because Bhaktivinoda Thakur is a Vaishnava in disciplic succession, you're going to hear a verse that Vishwamitra spoke, and something that I'm sure we all know this verse if I say it. Kausalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate Uttishta Narashar Dula Kartavyam Daivamannikam. You heard this verse? Okay. Most famous verse, if you go to Tirupati, any place, that is the first verse that they have. Now, what Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote and what this verse Vishwamitra spoke are exactly the same. Right? He says, although Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Utha Jiva, right? The soul wake up. Here Vishwamitra is waking up Lord Ramachandra. But I guess the way they say it is parallel. Right? So he says, Kausalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate. Early morning, the Brahma Muhurta has started. Vibhavari Sesha, the night has ended. Aloka Pravesha, the sun is about to rise. Brahma Muhurta. Nidra Chadi Utha. Right? So he says, Uttishta, Narashardula, oh, the best of human beings. Kartavyam Daivam Annikam. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Utha Jiva. Vibhavari Sesha, Aloka Pravesha, Nidra Chari, Utha Jiva. For what? Bola Hari Hari. Time to chant the holy name. Right? So this verse, according to our Sri Vaishnava Acharyas, has 108 meanings. Okay. I don't have the 108 meanings to tell you. Nor am I realized, I have some meanings, which I think is just fantastic. So this verse has external meanings and internal meanings, right? So the external, first they always ask, why say Kausalya Supraja? Why take Kausalya's name? Why didn't they say Rama, wake up? Right? Why Kausalya Supraja? So these are all the external meanings. First, when Vishvamitra is looking at Rama and Lakshmana, Rama's beauty is so unparalleled. He looks at Ramachandra, who's lying down sleeping with his beautiful big eyes that are closed. He says, how fortunate Kausalya is. What austerities she must have performed to get Lord Ramachandra as her son. So the first expression is an appreciation of Kausalya's fortune. So he says, Kausalya Supraja. But Dasharatha was also the father. Why not Dasharatha Supraja? So then there are 4 reasons. First, mother's position is higher than the father's for a son. And generally it's said in the Bhagavatam, the son gets all the mother's qualities and the daughter gets all the father's qualities. The second is, according to the Shrutis, the Vedas, they say the mother's position is higher than the father's. Therefore we say Matrudevo Bhava first. According to the Smrutis, it is said that the mother is 100 times more valuable than a father. So third reason. Fourth reason, Vishvamitra says, Dasharatha, to give his son, made so much natak. So much of resistance. This argument, that argument, I am afraid, I am attached, oh no. But Kausalya very easily gave her son. So she is more advanced than he is. Therefore, Kausalya Supraja. Supraja means one who is born in a very special way. Praja and Supraja, a very special person. Then he says, Rama. He has to call him Rama to wake him up. So Vishvamitra is eager to see that Ramachandra looks so beautiful, handsome, enchanting, attractive when he's asleep. How will he be when he first wakes up? I want to see how much more beautiful he will be. Now, generally, when normal people sleep, right, the ugliest side of us comes out. Hair is all like that. We drool, we snore, we scratch here, and it's a very ugly sight. And one leg is there, the pillow is somewhere. It's just. Therefore, queens and kings will always sleep in private, not in public, because no one should see them. They're always seen as prim and proper. But Ramachandra is so attractive while sleeping. So Vishwamitra is like, wow, how he'll be when he will be awake. I want to see him wake up. Then he says, Purva Sandhya Pravartate. Oh, Ramachandra, because he's human being, right? He says, Atmana Manusham Manya. I consider myself a human being. So a human being should wake up at Brahma Muhurta time, supposedly. He says Purva Sandhya. There are 3 Sandhyas in a day. First one, middle one, and last one. Purva Sandhya means the first Sandhya of the day has come. So Brahma Muhurta time. You must wake up and perform your Gayatri duties. So he says, Uttishtha Nara Shardula. Nara Shardula. Shardula means tiger. We hear now, oh, tiger among men. That is Nara Shardula. Uttishta, please wake up. It is important. You wake up and perform your duties. What duties? Kartavyam Daiva Mannikam. So, Daiva Mannikam has two meanings. For the Devatas, we all perform everyday Gayatri for the Supreme Lord, right? So he says, oh Ramachandra, wake up and perform your duties as a human being. But another meaning is, please get up so I can perform my duties to you in your presence. Because Vishvamitra knows this is the Supreme Personality. So we want to chant our rounds, we want to offer arti, so we have to wake up the deities. No? So in that sense, Vishvamitra is speaking both sides. You wake up and do your duties. You wake up so I can offer my duties to you. That's the external meaning of the verse. The internal meaning is, apparently, I don't know Sanskrit, but from what I hear, the word Kausalya means Kau Charayati, the one who roams around the earth, causing others to become benefited, is called Kausalya. Actually, the word comes from Kushala. Kushala means one who is bringing happiness and auspiciousness for others. So Kausalya. So Vishvamitra is reminding the Lord of his reason for adventing. So he says, Kausalya, oh, the one who's supposed to roam the earth, benefiting others. He says, Supraja, well born. So what is the well born? The Supreme Lord is never born, right? Therefore, he's glorifying him that you are never born, you're the unborn Supreme, but you have appeared in this family of Dasaratha and Kausalya. So Supraja, very specially you have appeared in a way that they think that you are their son, but you are not born to anyone. So Supraja, very expertly born. Then he says Rama. The word Rama means source of happiness, that Prabhupada taught us. So you are the source of pleasure for all living beings. That's one. Second, Rama means it is because of you that all living beings, all the trees, the mountains, the sky, the rivers, the flowers, the animals, they all have a sense of beauty because of you. You impart beauty to everything. So Rama. Then he says, Purva Sandhya Pravartate. It is morning time. So it's a time for awakening all the living beings from their sleep. Right? Nidra Chadi Utha Jiva. The living entities are sleeping in ignorance. So Lord Ramachandra, you have to traverse the earth so that by looking at you, by meeting you, their ignorance will go and they will awake from their sleepiness of ignorance. So the time has come for you to manifest your pastimes. Okay. Second, Purva Sandhya Pravartate. It's an awakening time. So Vishvamitra is telling, I have performed so many austerities for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And we're going to hear Vishvamitra's biography soon. It's fascinating biography. But now my entire life is becoming successful. It's a time of spiritual awakening for me because you're with me. Purva Sandhya Pravartate. Then he says, Uttishta, please wake up. The Supreme Lord never sleeps. When he enacts the pastime of sleeping, it is called Yoga Nidra. So Brahma Samhita also has this verse, Nidram Yoga, Yoga Nidra. And in Yoga Nidra, all of creation happens. Right? So when he says Uttishta, that means in your creation, all the living beings are suffering without your presence. So you need to wake up so that you're participating in this material world. Then he says, Narashardula. the tiger among men, or the best of human beings. We hear the best of human beings is called, in Sanskrit, Purushottama. So, by calling him Narashardula, he is reciting the entire 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, Dva Vimau Purushav Loke. In this world, there are two categories of people. Ksharaschakshara evacha, those who fall from their spiritual position, and Akshara evacha, those who never fall from their spiritual position. So, Nitya Siddhas and Nitya Baddhas. Dva Vimau Purushav Loke, Ksharaschakshara evacha. Ksharas Sarvani Bhutani, all living beings generally are fallen conditioned souls. Ksharas Sarvani Bhutani, Kutastokshara Uchyate. The one who never falls, they're called Kutastha. They are fixed. Nitya Siddhas. Kutastokshara Uchyate. And then he says, then there is another personality. And I forget how it starts. Dvavimau Purushav Loke, Ksharascha Evacha, Ksharas Sarvani Bhutani, Kutastokshara Uchyate, Uttama Purushastu Anyaha. Then there is an Uttama Purusha, that is another one. Paramatme Tudahurtaha, and that person is called Paramatma. So when he calls him Narashardula, he's telling him, O Purushottama, Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he says, Kartavyam. What is the Kartavyam for the Supreme Lord? We hear, no? Natasya Karyam Karanam Cha Vidyate. He has no activity to perform. Then what is Kartavyam for Lord Ramachandra? Your promise. You had promised, Paritranaya Sadhunam, Vinashaya Chadushkritam, Dharma Sansthapanarthaya. That's your general promise. Now you specifically promised Lord Brahma and all the demigods, I will help you get rid of Ravana and all of his Rakshasa clan. Right? So please wake up. Kartavyam, your time to fulfill your promise has come. And he says, Daiva Mannikam. Now Daiva Mannikam in the external meaning meant you perform your duties for the Supreme. But here Daiva Mannika means you perform your duties as the Supreme. So very, very beautiful verse. And this verse is such a famous verse because it has so much hidden meanings. And this is Vishvamitra's full spiritual awakening. Now, generally, when we see Vishvamitra, which we're going to hear the story next time we meet, I think when they walk through and reach Shatananda's ashram, that's when, before we get to Shatananda's ashram, actually, sorry, he has to narrate the whole story of the advent of Ganga. Because the Sarayu river, when they wake up and walk the next day, that Sarayu river comes to meet Ganga. At that point of Sangam, there are beautiful ashrams of all the different sages. So as they're walking, they look and say, wow, that sage lives there. Oh, this sage lives there. Oh, that sage lives there. Recently, we went to Juhu temple. In Mumbai, when you're going from the airport, you come on the main road and then you have to turn left to go to Juhu temple. At that intersection is Amitabh's house. Whoever comes there, the auto guy or the taxi guy will say, this is Amitabh's house. And everyone turns, oh, Amitabh's house. So this great personality or so-called popular personality's house and everyone getting excited was there from Ramayana's time. But it was not for actors. It was great sages. So Vishvamitra will tell Rama and Lakshmana, this such and such great sage lives here, that sage lives here, this. Oh, how very nice, how wonderful, how wonderful. So after hearing the story of Ganga, they will come down to Shatananda's ashram. Shatananda is the son of Gautam Rishi and Ahalya. So before they reach Shatananda ashram, Ahalya has to be relieved. And then we will hear Vishvamitra's story, I think, if I remember right. But generally, Vishvamitra's life story, he went from Raja Rishi to Brahma Rishi. And the path was not easy. On his path, he fell victim to his anger. He fell victim to a woman's allurement. And then he fell victim to this idea of helping people, which is good. In fact, all these help him to progress to a point that he becomes qualified as Lord Ramachandra's guru. So the Vishvamitra we know and we hear in the stories is not the same Vishvamitra that is with Lord Ramachandra. He's a very evolved Vishvamitra. So the famous saying is, every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. So one may come from different pasts, but once they become spiritually awakened, we shouldn't say, I know how he was when he was younger. Don't take him seriously. We never can say like that because they're transformed by bhakti. So Vishvamitra is a very special and great person that he becomes the spiritual master for the Supreme Lord. That's like Ishvara Puri's position. So we are very honored to hear about Vishvamitra. Any questions, comments, thoughts from anyone here?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This is
Hey,
Ajita Das here.
I know. How can we mistake? Your voice is unique.
Prabhuji, you said that Vishvamitra is completely aware of Lord Ram being the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yet, the massaging of his feet, I've just tried to, it's not somehow getting in my head, like how can you know somebody's God and allow him to massage his feet?
Let's take the example of Yudhishthir Maharaj. Yudhishthir Maharaj had no confusion who Krishna is. Correct? So whenever Yudhishthir Maharaj and Krishna would meet, Krishna would offer obeisances because he's older.
Wow.
So isn't it embarrassing? Yes.
Yeah.
It's part of the pastime. Krishna would offer obeisances. This is what Kunti Devi is offering in her prayers. That Maya Javanika Channam. That Maya is like a curtain and she hides your real identity. And so you look like you're one of us. Gudham charati vishishu, she says. You are secretly, confidentially roaming around in the family of the Vrishnis as if you're one of us. And when I see this, I'm completely bewildered. So it is part of the pastime that everyone has their role to play.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Okay. Can you guys see me?
No problem.
It's going off and on.
Oh, okay. But in the background, people are washing pots. So. All right. Any other questions or comments? Don't feel forced to ask. If you don't have, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Haribol.
So, you were explaining about the Kaushalya Shupraja, right? So, in the temple, they sing the Uttishta Uttishta, right? After that, that also follows from this verse, or?
No.
Then what is that?
That is a prayer called Suprabhatam.
Oh, they add this verse before the Suprabhatam.
That is correct. These are famous utterances. So the sages will take famous utterances, put them together and create a prayer. So the rest of it is Suprabhatam. So there is Srinivasa Suprabhatam, there is Narasimha Suprabhatam, there is that different. But the first verse is generally this one.
Okay.
What are you cooking, Jyotirmaya? A cooker and all that is going on?
Not from my end, Prabhu. Many devotees have unmuted. I don't know from their end. All four are sitting quietly and listening to class.
I'm teasing you.
Hare Krishna, bro. Please accept my apology.
Please ask.
Radha has a question.
Hare Krishna. So my question is that
Hold on. Can everyone else mute your phones, please? Radha's sound is coming as echoes. Yeah, go ahead, Radha.
okay. So in the Valmiki Ramayana, it says like what mantra, like you just said the Atibala mantra and the Bala mantra, and other mantras that Rama learned. Why is like the mantra mentioned, like the actual words?
Why is the actual words Bala and Atibala mentioned?
Yeah, like it's just the title of the mantra is given, but not the actual mantra.
Well, actual mantras are not given because everybody gets to read Ramayana and then they will all read Bala and Atibala and use it against each other. My Atibala is going to fight with your Atibala mantra. So it is just said Bala and Atibala. Like we say, oh, Gayatri mantra was given, but the actual mantra is not spoken. Even now in the Ramayana, Valmiki Muni is giving the entire Gayatri mantra, but we don't know where it is, how it is hidden. But we are reciting the Gayatri mantra slowly as we go through the Ramayana. So they are great persons who hide the mantra. So everyone benefits without knowing that they are benefiting. So the mantra is not given out like that.
So it would be bad if that happened.
Not bad. Some people may misuse it.
So
Go back to the story of the 8th canto, where the nectar that was churned was not given to the demons. Why?
because they will misuse it.
Same way. They will misuse Bala and Atibala and torment all the Brahmanas even more. That is why.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There's a question here. Hold on.
What is in the first time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu realized he was working in the forest of Jharkhand and dancing inside. That is different. And here in Vishvamitra of Lord Rama and Lakshmana, why there is there only one option that they have to walk all 20 kilometers per mile?
So we find Chaitanya Mahaprabhu walking through forest of Jarikanda, all the way from Jagannath Puri to Vrindavan, not once but multiple times, trying to go to Vrindavan. Then we find Ramachandra, Lakshmana walking with Vishvamitra. Is there no other option like bullock cart, horse riding, like that?
If Vishvamitra could arrange any.
If Vishvamitra could arrange anything. Well, spiritual master does not give mantra without disciple performing austerity. If the disciple is sitting on a horse and riding and then he says, just text it to me. No need to give it. Text the mantra to me. There is no meaning. So Lord Ramachandra is demonstrating what Guru Shushrooshaya looks like. Krishna also went, right, to Sandipani Muni's ashram, went into the forest, collected firewood, brought it back, Samit Pani, Shrotriyam. So that is how one has to serve menially the Guru before one can get mantra. Whoever it is, however great they have to serve. Therefore, Balakanda is all about Guru. There is no Balya. Ramachandra is already Pauganda here. about to arrive to Kaishora age. But it's called Bala because it's about the Guru. Everyone, without menial service, without Shushrushayo Shraddhadhanasya Vasudeva Katha Ruchi will not come. So everyone must Shushrusha. Okay. Final question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. How does Lakshman going with Lord Ramachandra comes into the picture? Is there some discussion or does it happen just like that?
What is just like that?
Meaning there is a discussion when Lord Ramachandra is going to the forest, Lakshman says, hey, I want to come, and there is like a story and a pastime. So is there something like that here or no?
Yes, there is. Lakshmana and Ramachandra cannot stay separate from each other, even for a moment. So it is already obvious that wherever Ramachandra goes, Lakshmana has to go. So Dasharatha is convinced that Rama and Lakshmana will go together with Vishvamitra. But they always are together. And the other two are Bharat Shatrughna. They're always together. They're never separated.
So it was like taken for granted when Lord Ramachandra is going, Lakshmana goes.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, Haribol.
This is Kirti here. Please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to
Hare
Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, one small question. How was Vishwamitra feeling? Usually, all living entities, they try to follow the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was actually following the footsteps of Vishwamitra.
So how was he feeling?
How was he feeling internally?
I don't know how he was feeling internally.
Was there any description in the Valmiki Ramayana?
No, he's playing the role of Guru. So he has a service to perform.
Okay.
You know, let's take, how does Sandipani Mani feel where he's instructing Krishna on the 64 limbs of knowledge when Krishna is the source of all knowledge? How does Ishwara Puri feel when he has to give Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the mantra in his ear? You know what happens for Ishwara Puri, right? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears in his dream and tells him that, boy, you give this mantra. So he tells the mantra to Ishwara Puri. Because in that sense, Ishwara Puri is initiated by the Supreme Lord in the dream. But then he has to give it to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Krishna is always the instructor. So here also, when he is glorifying the Supreme Lord, and he is performing his service as the Guru, and he is very aware that they are walking right behind him. So how do you feel? In Rath Yatra, Jagannath is behind you and you are ahead of him and pulling the cart. It's just the same way. Wow, he is right behind me. Right? In Sakshi Gopal's story that Krishna told him, you keep walking ahead, I will walk behind you. The Supreme Lord is walking right behind me. That's amazing. Right? How is he feeling? We can only guess that he is in complete ecstasy. Imagine Rama Lakshmana walking right behind you. I can't imagine. Huh? They just came with him. They brought him here. And they've just landed. I've been noticing about it. Okay, we'll end here. Thank you very much. Kirti, are you satisfied?
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Ramayana ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
technologically challenged here. I have to stop the recording. Oh boy.